Hey everybody, it's Kim Dahnke, the Shibboleth new member fast track instructor, and we are so glad that you are here with us on this Sunday evening. I have been very busy today. Shibboleth shipping is now going to come out of the store in Kennesaw. So we have been working hard to get this done today and yesterday, and we had a great time. Lots and lots of help. Hey, Travis. And it's all set up for shipping out of Kennesaw, and we are super excited about that. If you are on Facebook, please take a second to say hello, just like our founder, Travis Martin, did over on Facebook. If you are in the Zoom room, please take a moment to set your chat to everyone. Hey, Chris, good evening. And then say, where are you from? How you heard about Shibboleth? Whether you are new or you're here for a refresh, I love to know all those details. Do you know that you really can get to know people through technology just by having people come on regularly and say all kinds of things. Hello, Deanna. Hey, Alicia. Alicia's back home from the beach. Y'all look like y'all had a great time, I'm happy about that for y'all. You had 2 birthdays to celebrate down there too. That's wonderful. Hey, Jack, glad you're back with me tonight. That's awesome. Hey, Julie, I just filled your order tonight at the Kennesaw Shibby Shop. Bio coffee will be in tomorrow, and then we will get that order out to you. Let's see. Julie invited a friend to join tonight, so thought I would come and hang out here if she comes. That's a great idea. Thank you, Julie. Hey, Leona from Maryville, Tennessee. Hey, Beth Rogers, Walton County, Georgia. Found out from my daughter's soon-to-be mother-in-law. Oh, I have a friend named Beth Rogers. I don't think you're the same one, but I'll become friends with you. But Walton County, Georgia. Awesome. Found out from my daughter's soon-to-be mother-in-law. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, Julie, when I picked up your order, I'm like, I know her. So that was awesome. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Tonight is the lifestyle overview, okay? Lifestyle overview. Because when you're learning something new, how are you going to know the talk that we talk and the walk that we walk if no one ever explains it to you? Hey, Tiger, and I hope I said your name right. If nobody ever explains it to you, that's what tonight is. Tonight is Shibboleth in a nutshell. What can I do every single day to get results? And what I really love about Shibboleth, in my mind, this is really a management system. Anything that you want to go well in life needs to be managed. You manage your household, you manage your finances. Businesses are managed. You really couldn't be managing anything more important than your weight. So if we've got weight to lose, we're going to do that. And then we're going to figure out how to manage it for the whole rest of our lives. And it's going to be amazing. Amazing. I've been doing it 2.5 years now, and it's wonderful. Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Brian, over in the Zoom room, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. I'm going to be sharing a PowerPoint with you tonight, and you do have access to this. It's on the website underneath the video. But if you, most of the time, I encourage people to take notes, but you'll have access to that webinar if you want to afterwards. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, get this all set up. Yeah, I've got a friend over here in Kennesaw named Beth Rogers. Hey, Michelle. Okay, we're glad you're catching a live. That's awesome. So glad that you're here. Okay, so this is a lifestyle. This is not a diet. The first 3 letters in the word diet spell die. Okay, we don't want to do that. I like the first 4 letters in the word lifestyle much better. I am living life now in a purposeful way with food, where not having excess weight on my body has me in this lightness of being, and I can move around and do things so much better now. But I also am still enjoying food. So it's really a great balance, and you're just going to love it. But it is a lifestyle, not a diet. So here's the basics. We have 2 modes in Shibboleth. You are either in weight loss mode or maintenance mode. There are only 3 differences between the 2 modes. One is simply the number of what we call holidays that you can have in a calendar month. Got to have some way to manage this. We manage the month first, then the week, then the day, then the meal, and I even say manage a moment of mental weakness if you have that too. Okay, so there's three differences. One is the number of holidays that you can have in a calendar month. Two, how you eat fruit. And three, your mindset. You might be starting this off thinking diet, and you know what? Go ahead in the beginning, think that it's okay, because most people are so excited they're going to do something new, and that's okay. But what I'm really pointing out is that by the time you get from weight loss mode to maintenance mode, we've got to know this is more than just a diet, that this is a lifestyle that you really need to have be part of what you do day in, day out for the rest of your life, so that you don't have to go up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay. So there's two modes on Shibboleth: weight loss and maintenance. And we'll talk about how to eat fruit a little bit later. There are two types of days on Shibboleth. There's either a perfect day or a holiday. That's it. Perfect day or holiday. Now, if you have joined us as a Tiger's Eye lifetime member, when you go in to journal your type of day, you're going to see more than just perfect day and holiday there. But what I want you to do in the beginning is put blinders on. Just put on blinders and do not pay attention to any of those other types of days, because I don't need you to get distracted. Okay. I need you to stay focused on just learning the lifestyle. Perfect day or holiday, perfect day or holiday. But what you can get excited about is all those other types of days that you see listed there are just advanced versions of a perfect day. And so we can look forward to having more learning if we want to, once we get perfect day, holiday down. You start getting that management system down. The next thing that we're going to look at is holidays. How many holidays are allowed? Well, when you are in weight loss mode, you can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. And a holiday is a day where you're just not meeting the Shibboleth shield, some component of the Shibboleth shield, which we're going to go over in just a second. When you get to maintenance mode, you can use up to 12 holidays in a calendar month. Okay. And you might be thinking, how in the world could I do really just whatever I wanted to do on 12 days and maintain my weight loss? Well, the other 18 to 19 days need to be truly perfect days, not slipping over into okay days, because an okay day is really a holiday. Okay. Lots of okays there. But when we talk in Fast Track, I'm only going to use the number 6. Okay. I'm just going to use 6 holidays because most of us are currently starting off in weight loss. Okay. How do you have a perfect day? You simply follow the Shibboleth shield. The Shibboleth shield is there to keep you safe. And after 2 perfect days of following the shield, you get your body into a state that we call EFB. EFB, baby, efficient fat burning. It is absolutely amazing that I kind of call it priming the body. Going to prime the body where it is going to efficiently burn fat, which is what we want to do. So the shield is comprised of 5 components: water, journal, combinations, portions, and timing. So 5 parts to the shield. And I like to call these are we're going to teach you the standards of eating healthy. It's just the standards of eating healthy. And then every single day, I have my 5 daily disciplines that I work through every single day. Hey, Angelia, glad you're here. Hey, Alicia, Alicia's doing some flames for that EFB, baby, efficient fat burning. Okay, The first component of the shield is to drink your water. We've got to get in at least half a gallon of water every single day, working towards a gallon. If you're looking for ounces, that's 64 ounces at a minimum up to 128 ounces. So in order to get in have a perfect day on this component, you need to get in at least 64 ounces of water. All right. And I'll joke with people and I'll say, let's keep it right and tight. If you realize on the way to bed that you've only gotten 63 ounces of water in, you walk up to the sink in the bathroom and you scoop in another ounce. But I jokingly say that. But the real reason I say that is you do much better when you follow the components of the shield and not let yourself slip in areas. Okay. Yes. Boom. Water, Tiger says. I love it. And Chris gave me a flame too. I saw that. A dehydrated body will not efficiently give up fat or waste. Water in, fat out. Water in, poop out. And we need both of those things. Okay. So water, we got to get in our water. It's simply 4 regular size water bottles every day, shooting for 8 of them. The next thing is we've got to journal what we write down. So we are going to journal daily. If you bite it, you write it. If you nibble it, you scribble it. If you drink it, you ink it. And if you hog it, you log it. Okay. If you put something in your mouth, you put it on in your journal. Okay. There are no idle bites on planet Shibboleth. So you write these bites down. What I like about journaling is that it's a pause. It's a moment in time where you can slow down long enough to say, should I really be doing this? Is this really what I need today? You know, you can ask yourself some questions if you give yourself that moment of pause. And we like to say, write it before you bite it, because then you have the chance to say, okay, I don't really want to do that. And it can help you make good decisions. This is really good in the area of behavior modification. And I know I needed to modify some behaviors. I don't know about you, but I know I did. So we're going to journal daily. So the next part is component number 3 of the shield is combinations. We're going to eat properly combined meals. We're going to eat in a way that controls insulin, AKA the fat bus. That's funny. Anne Marie says, my 4-year-old really liked that pig. Good. I'm glad that your 4-year-old liked that. We're going to eat properly combined meals that keep away the fat bus. We're going to talk more about this in just a minute, but secret alert right here. Insulin is what we call the fat bus. If we can learn to eat in a way that controls insulin, we can control new fat storage. I don't know about you, but I don't want to store any new fat. So I'm going to control the insulin. And it's really not hard. It's simply swapping around some things that you eat together on a plate, and maybe some new products. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to eat. And the 4th component of the shield is portions. We're going to eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate using the 2-hand rule. Now, no matter what size plate you have, your 2-hand rule is going to trump that. Okay, so you take your 2 hands, you move your fingers as close together as possible. You move those thumbs out of the way and you put your hands together as close as you can. Then you're going to lower your hands down over your food and you're going to look. Can you see your food or can you not? If you can't see your food, you're portion controlled. All right, that's good. Take your hands, if you will, right now and put them together and place that down over your tummy. Look how much area that is. We may not think that's a whole bunch. We've been sort of duped recently in the past few decades. Food has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Our stomachs didn't get bigger and bigger and bigger. The servings got bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? But if we want to be reasonable, put your hands down there and go, whoa, yeah, I can see that's a reasonable size. Now, sometimes our stomachs have gotten stretched out, and by eating that right portion, the blessing of our divinely designed body is that it will heal when we start doing the right thing. Okay. So I've been over 4 of the 5 components. I'm going to stop right here briefly because these 4 are the 4 that you need to meet every single day in order to say that you've had a perfect day. So you want to make sure that you get your water in. Not hard. You can start that tomorrow. You want to write down your foods that you're eating, everything that goes in your mouth. Not hard. You can start that tomorrow. Combinations. It's really not hard, and there's some simple, easy things in your welcome packet that you could start eating tomorrow, and then you will continue to hone in and learn that. Number 4, portion control. Not hard. You can start that tomorrow. Okay. Sometimes I'll have people tell me, I got to learn all this stuff before I get started. And I'm like, no, you don't. There's 5 components to the shield. Only one of them has to do with what you're eating. You start putting into place those other 4, you're going to get results just from doing that. Then you continue honing in on learning the combinations, and you're going to be blowtorching fat like you'd blowtorch butter. We'll go ahead and take care of that. Let's look at component number 5, though. Component number 5 is really for optimization, okay? So if you don't hit this one just right, it is for, it's okay. It's for optimization. You can do up to 3 meals a day, all right? I'm just going to talk breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you don't eat breakfast, you don't have to eat breakfast. That's fine. But I'm just going to use that as an example. So up to 3 meals a day. It's best if you eat them 4 to 6 hours apart. So let's say that you eat breakfast at 8 and then lunch at noon, that's 4 hours, and then dinner at 6, that's 6 hours. That would be a really great timing. Be really great. All right. So that is 4 to 6 hours apart. But let's say that you eat breakfast at 8, you get to work, and the people at work want to go to lunch at 11, and it's just 3 hours. As long as you are still drinking your water for the day, writing down what you eat, eating in the right food combination, and portion controlling, if you didn't quite hit the 4 to 6 hours, that's not going to throw you off of having a perfect day. Let's see. Yes, Tiger. Yes, you can. Tiger asked, can I have a dill pickle in a moment of weakness and it's a freebie? Yes, that would be a freebie. Okay, so 4 to 6 hours apart. But if you have a moment, she just mentioned it, if you have a moment of what Travis calls mental weakness, because we really could make it from breakfast to lunch, lunch to dinner, and dinner to bedtime without grazing. We really could do that. But if you've got that moment where you are going to give in, let's do a freebie, an extra, or a snack. All right, because even doing those, because they would all be an approved item that's going to control your blood sugar and then therefore control insulin, it would all be an approved item that you would choose to eat. You're still going to have results from it. Okay, but we got to learn to stop grazing. Look, maybe I can entertain the 4-year-old again. This Tiger, as many as you want to. I pressed that one a little bit more for the 4-year-old. Okay, this is a cow. This cow has a stomach with 4 chambers designed for grazing. Our stomach does not have 4 chambers. It was not designed for grazing. All right, so we don't need to be grazing. It is hurting our metabolism and our digestive system. So we're going to learn to stop grazing. But this one is for optimization. Now, here's the thing. Where you would not be meeting this component and not have a perfect day is if you went over more than 1 extra or more than 1 snack. If you went over more than 1 extra, you're welcome. Hey, Brady, if you go over those amounts, then that technically goes back to component number 4, your portions, and portions does have to be met in order to say that you've had a perfect day. Okay. Freebies are technically unlimited, but I don't like for people to think of them as unlimited. Just use them what you need. Okay. But the muscle that we need to be exercising is the self-discipline muscle. And y'all, I've gotten really good at that. And I'm glad that my self-discipline muscle is stronger now, 2.5 years later. All right. So let's say that we have breakfast, and then we have an extra mid-morning, and then we have lunch, and then mid-afternoon we have a snack, and then we have dinner, and then we have freebies at night while I'm watching TV or doing something like that. What does that technically look like? It's the G word I just said. What does that look like? Anybody want to answer that? It looks like grazing. Yes, Beth, it looks like grazing. But in that particular, if this particular situation, thank you, Chris, thank you, Tiger. If you are getting, if you have, you got your water in, you've got your journal, you ate in the right food combinations, the freebie, the extra, and that you snack you used were approved, and you ate the right portions, do you know what that really is? It's a good Shibboleth perfect day. But we are trying to get away from grazing, okay? So I call it GBB, good, better, best. That would be a good Shibboleth perfect day. Maybe you have 3 meals and then you just opt to have a freebie. That would be an even better Shibboleth perfect day. And there's varieties within these too, y'all. But then maybe you just have your 3 meals a day. That would be one of the best Shibboleth perfect days, okay? Or maybe you have 2 meals and a snack, whatever you want to do, just like 3 eating episodes, You'll hear more about 3 eating episodes later in the future with Travis. But there's good, better, and best. And what I like about that is it gives you freedom. So I say that the Shibboleth standards are our guardrails. They're what keeps us on the interstate. But on the interstate, sometimes you are driving a little bit faster, a little bit slower, a little bit faster, a little bit slower. So we've got freedom within the guidelines. All right. I've got a gnat flying around in here, so please forgive me if I keep swatting at it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at how to combine foods. Now, most of you have heard you should drink water. Most of you have heard, oh, if I journal my foods, it'll help me do things more mindfully rather than mindlessly. We've all heard portion control, and we all know that we shouldn't eat all the time, like grazing. Those are some concepts that we pretty much know. But what Shibboleth does is it gives us a fun way to get those in every single day, challenging ourselves, which is just awesome and fun. But many of us, this is a new concept for. Thankfully, it's not hard at all. But what I need to do is I need to teach you the terms that we use and what you can put together and what you shouldn't put together. And that's it. At that point, you really are going to start creating your favorites list this week, your favorite lean proteins, your favorite fibrous carbs, and so forth. So if you're taking notes, I would highly suggest that you write 1 through 7 at the top of a piece of paper. And I'm going to list out just three tonight, because tomorrow night, the 1 full hour is on this topic. Tonight is the overview so that you can just start getting busy tomorrow with the 5 things that you do every day. But tomorrow is a 1 full hour on this topic. And if you've written 1 through 7 at the top of a piece of paper, if you hear me say some things that you like tonight and it goes in those categories, please write it down, because you're trying to come up with your favorites list. If you don't have some favorites list, it's going to be hard to build meals. But if you do have some favorites list, you're going to be able to build meals. Okay, so how do you put together a properly combined meal? You're going to learn that there are 7 categories of food. And these foods are categorized based on their nutritional profile. Hey, Rhonda, I'm glad you're here. Your nutritional profile and how they respond in your body. Okay, so category 1 is a lean protein, or LP. This is a high quality protein, hardly any fat. Category 2 is a fibrous carb, or FC. It's carbs, but it's fiber, lots and lots of fiber. Category 3, energy carbs, or EC. Now, these carbs would bring an insulin release, so we're going to want to be careful with these. Category 4 is a protein plus fat, PF, high quality protein, good natural fats. Category 5, fruit, FR. Category 6, superfood, SF. And category 7, shellfish, SHF, which is really just a lean protein, okay? So these 7 categories are for foods that roam the earth, swim in the ocean, grow from the ground, and there are also some other man-made products that are in there too. But it's kind of categorizing all of those foods. We have a food library with well over 7,000 items in it, and we looked at a lot of things and put it in the food library. We tell you the category, how to use it, and give you lots and lots of directions. The food library is having like an encyclopedia. Oh, Rhonda's studying for her exams. That's awesome. That's awesome. Glad you're taking a break and joining us, Rhonda. So category 1, lean protein, this is where you're going to find chicken breast, 96% lean ground meat. And if you're hearing me say anything you like, write it underneath your number 1. And all fish, all fish. Category 2, fibrous carbs. This is where you're going to find green beans, broccoli, asparagus. But where most people get really, really excited is we have over 177 approved breads in Shibboleth. Now, it might be a bread type item, a pita bread, a lavash bread, a tortilla, loaf breads, all kinds of things, okay? We got 177 approved breads in Shibboleth, and many, many, many of them qualify to be fibrous carbs. Why do they qualify to be a fibrous carb? Because there's enough protein, enough fiber in it to break down in your body more like a green bean than a bread. That's a hallelujah moment for most people, y'all. We also have something called Carb Quick. Carb Quick is spelled CARBQUIK, and it is our replacement for flour or Bisquick. You can have category 2 fibrous carbs, muffins, pancakes, waffles, cookies, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so that's, and you can bread your bread chicken, you can bread okra, all kinds of stuff with the fibrous carb. Energy carbs, all potatoes, carrots, corn. Those are 3 things. There's a lot more. I'm just doing simple tonight. Yes, Rhonda says Carb Quick is amazing. We've got 6 pages of recipes that include Carb Quick in it, so it's amazing. Okay, protein plus fat, whole eggs, all cuts of steak, most pork products, fruit. All fruit is in fruit. Yeah, Tiger, go ahead and get some and have it in your pantry. If you go onto our website, you can type in recipe starter kit, and if you haven't already gotten the ghee butter and the Mct oil, you could get that along with that Carb Quick. And what I love about that is that you already have those staples in your pantry that when you come across a recipe that you want to make, you don't have to say, oh dang it, I could make this if I only had ... You already have it there. Okay, category 6 is superfood. This is where you're going to find nut butters, nuts and seeds, most darker colored beans, and shellfish. Shellfish is really just a lean protein, kind of like category 1. Tomatoes are a category 3. Tomatoes are a category 3 energy carb. Ding, ding, ding. I always train everybody on 3s and 5s. I want an alarm to be going off in your head. Not that they aren't good for you and can't be healthy for you. They are, but you got to eat them in a way that controls insulin on a perfect Shibboleth day, okay? But shellfish is really just a lean protein. So remember, I said all fish is in category 1. Well, guess what shellfish is? All the other critters that live in water, whether or not they have a shell, goes in shellfish, all right? Fish goes up here, all shellfish here. The reason that shellfish was broken off of that main category is because some people, due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, don't want to eat it. And so it's just broken off and put on its own. And Beth says that ghee butter is fabulous. Yes, I use it for lots of cooking and stuff like that. Okay, so if you wrote 1 through 7 at the top of a piece of paper, I want you to circle the next 5 that I call out. Circle number 1, number 2, number 4, number 6, and number 7. So you should have number 1, number 2, number 4, number 6, and number 7. If you've circled those are ones that can be eaten alone. You do not even have to combine that. It can be eaten alone. Now, why is it important to know what you can eat alone? Because not every single situation that you are in is going to be an optimal situation. Sometimes you just need to know how to make a good decision for that moment. You know, every time we sit down at a meal, it's not going to be a foodie fabulous wonderful recipe meal. Sometimes we end up in a situation when, like me, I go to a lot of luncheons. And when I first started going to luncheons after I learned Shibboleth, I would look at the stuff that was in the chafing dishes and I would go, fat bus, fat bus, fat bus, fat bus. Oh, they've got steak. I'll eat the steak. And I just made myself a good decision and stayed in the EFB and got my results. Okay, so it's number 3 and number 5 that you really want to train your mind to go ding, ding, ding. So let's talk about that. Let's say that you want to eat an energy carb. I'm just going to use lima beans. So if you like lima beans, write that down under number 3. Lima beans. When you eat, this is secret alert, so y'all perk up if you have fallen asleep on me, okay? I'm hoping you haven't, but if you have, perk up. Secret alert. When you eat lima beans, your blood sugar elevates. Your pancreas secretes insulin. It secretes insulin to deal with the blood sugar elevation. But we know that we need to eat in a way that controls insulin because insulin is a fat storage growth hormone, and we want to neutralize that. We want to neutralize that insulin. So if you eat the lima beans, it's going to go right here, about this much lima beans. Okay, it's about 1/4 of a cup. Remember, you're trying to fit it underneath your hands. So 1/4 of a cup. Maybe you make yourself a piece of chicken breast and green beans. Okay, so let's talk about that. There's really no fat in lima beans, and there's no fat in what we ate. That's a good thing. We don't want that to be in there. But lima beans would be the catalyst to fat storage if you ate it with fat. So that's why this meal is not going to have really any fat in it. But watch what happens. You eat the lima beans, your blood sugar elevates, your pancreas secretes insulin. But you have chosen to eat it with chicken breast and green beans. Awesome, Rhonda. I love it. The protein in the chicken breast and the fiber in the green beans will help neutralize the insulin release that came out because of the lima beans. Secret, there it is. Every single time you eat, it's like you are doing a science fair project inside your body. Is this project going to win the blue ribbon, or is this project going to not even place in the science fair? Let's win the blue ribbon. Okay, let's do right with that science fair project. Now, this is the same thing with fruit. Fruit is a natural sugar. It's fructose. It's a natural sugar. So your body still elevates blood sugar when you eat fruit. That's right, Chris. Chris says it works. So your body, when you eat fruit, your blood sugar elevates. Your pancreas secretes insulin, even on fruit. So you've got to eat fruit with a lean protein, and a fibrous carb. So I'm just going to keep it real simple today. If you don't like what I say, we can find things that you do like. You don't have to eat anything on Planet Shibboleth you don't like. And that was really great news for me. And I'm sure it's great news for y'all. But there's thousands of things on the Planet Shibboleth. We just need to figure out which ones you like. But let's say that you want to have some berries. Maybe you make yourself an egg white spinach omelet. And if you don't like that, we'll figure out something else. But the berries, although they're pretty low glycemic, let's just say fruit elevates your blood sugar, your pancreas secretes insulin, but the protein in the egg whites and the fiber in the spinach would neutralize the blood sugar elevation from the fruit. Now, remember when I said in the very, very beginning, I said there's two modes, weight loss mode or maintenance mode. And one of the differences was how you eat fruit. When you are in weight loss mode, fruit must be combined properly. Once you get to maintenance, you can also have fruit as a snack. See, weight loss mode and maintenance mode are two different nutritional situations. Once you've got that excess unwanted body fat off and you've got excess reserve fat off, you're not in the same nutritional situation as when you started. So when you start, you want to hyper control that insulin. Once you get to maintenance, you can have just a little bit more like that. You can eat that fruit by itself as a snack and you'll still be fine. But in maintenance though, if you're eating fruit combined with a meal, you should still eat it properly combined. It's just that you can have fruit by itself as a snack if you want to in maintenance. Okay, let's see, Beth. So I don't see any category 3s in phase 1. Is it still okay to have or not right now? For example, I started this morning having no clue what I was doing and had made plain grits with egg whites. So not an okay combo for phase 1. Okay, so to tell you the truth, that's not an okay combo ever. But I got good news for you, Beth. I got real good news for you. We got something called a perfect pairing that will work for. So really, I'm going to answer your question in 2 ways, Beth. So this combination chart that we're going to look at right here, this says phase 1. Phase 1, let's see, this evening I had roast with green beans and carrots. Well, let's talk about that one, Jack. Okay, let's talk about it. Phase 1 is really the foundation of the lifestyle. I always just say, I mean, I live in phase 1. We hear this term phase 2. Phase 2 just means you will have some more variety of foods opened up to you, kind of like soups and frozen meals and some different cereals. And then you're just continuing to live the lifestyle. So phase 1 and phase 2, either one doesn't really matter, okay? But you don't see any category 3s on this combination list, even though, Beth, technically you can have category 3s from the very beginning. You can, properly combined, okay? But they aren't listed here because if in your first 7 to 10 days, if you were willing to forego energy, carbs, and fruit, then you could even have some better results, get a really great jump start and get some better results. Now, the combination that you gave though, Beth, grits and egg whites, yeah, we'll teach you how to do tomatoes, Tiger, but tomatoes, we talk about that a little bit more tomorrow night, but I'll talk to you about it in just a second. But this grits and egg whites, Beth, is actually called a perfect pairing on Shibboleth. And what a perfect pairing is, it's something that does not follow these rules. See these little lines? Each one of these lines is a meal that you could have. And the perfect pairing doesn't quite follow the rules, but it's 2 things that have been put together that will still work. So you actually did fine. You did fine, Beth. Perfect pairing is over here in this blue column on our advanced combination chart. And technically, you can use that advanced combination chart in from the beginning. It's in lap 6 if you want to go ahead and have a look at that. And Beth, if you wanted to go into the food library after you've passed the quiz, there's a whole link on perfect pairings, and you'll see the grits and egg white one there. Okay. Now, Jack, roast is typically a protein plus fat. Yes, Rhonda says to keep that chart on your fridge. Jack Jack had a roast with green beans and carrots. That is not approved. I think that Jack, let me just say this. It's not an approved combination, but I wouldn't go having a holiday now because of it. I would mark it as a holiday technically, Jack. But it's not going to have a huge impact on what happens on the scale in the morning for you. So don't let that bother you. But let me just tell you what's going on with that. This is a great example. Okay, Jack had roast. Roast is a protein plus fat. He had carrots and green beans. Cooked carrots are a category 3 energy carb. It did elevate his blood sugar. His pancreas did secrete insulin, okay? And it captured the fat that was in the roast. That's what happened with that meal. Now, if Jack had 96% lean ground beef or London broil or chicken breast, then that would not have happened. So Jack, the only tweak in that situation was that you really just needed a lean protein rather than roast because of the carrots. Or if you wanted the roast the most, oh, that rhymed. If you wanted the roast the most, then you needed just maybe do double green beans. I know you're like, I don't want double green beans. I wanted some carrots. But yeah, call it a holiday because technically it is. But don't go holidaying now because of it, because your scale's still gonna be fine in the morning. Okay, but yeah, so do you understand why I'm talking about that, Jack? Because carrots and roast don't go together unless it's a holiday. And somebody asked me about something on Facebook and it's already disappeared. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, tomatoes. Okay, so tomatoes are a category 3 energy carb, okay? You can do about a 1/4 cup of them, Tiger, about a 1/4 cup, and they need to be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb, just like those carrots have got to be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Let's see. Yes, got it. It was top sirloin and we trimmed. So you actually might be fine, Jack. You might be fine. It's just got some marbled through that, but some fat marbled through that some. I don't know. I don't know much about steaks, but I just know that most meat like that's category 4. Okay, so, but Tiger, if you want a little thin slice of tomato on a hamburger patty or a chicken breast or something like that, you can do a little thin slice and that would be part of your condiment. But if you really love those tomatoes and you wouldn't want to go more than a 1/4 cup, but you need to eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Okay, so like an egg white omelet with tomatoes and spinach, that would be fine. Yep, that would be fine, Tiger. That'd be fine. Yep. Okay, so let's go over right here, this protein plus fat one, PF, protein plus fat. What I need to tell you on here is what not to eat with a protein plus fat, because you just learned that if you're going to eat an energy carb, it needs to be with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And if you're going to eat fruit, it needs to be with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. But what I need to teach you on the protein plus fat is what not to eat with it. So you do not want to eat anything that brings an insulin release with protein plus fat. That would be your energy carbs. You know, I don't even know what corned beef is, Tiger. Corned beef is probably a 4 and cabbage is a 2, and that is an approved combination. But I don't know. I'd have to look up corned beef in the food library. I don't think I've ever eaten corned beef. but we're going to look that one up. Hey, if you're on here tomorrow night, Tiger, let me know. We'll look that up. Actually, it might be Tuesday night. Okay, Chris says it's a 4. Okay. So if it's a 4, your cabbage is a 2. Thank y'all for helping me out with foods I don't know much about. Okay. So you don't want to eat the protein plus fat with anything that brings an insulin release. So energy, carbs, fruit, and superfoods. Hadn't talked much about that one yet. But you just don't eat the energy, carbs, fruit, or superfoods with a protein plus fat. You're not going to see that. And I already did a really great example of that tonight going over Jack's meal. Normally, I use a steak and baked potato as my classic plate that people love, and you can still have that. You can just have it up to 6 times a month. You just don't want to eat it every day. You can still eat it. So that's what's so great about Shibboleth. You're not giving up any foods. You're just managing on which day you're going to eat those certain foods. Good, Tiger. Awesome. Because I still eat steak and baked potato, just not on a perfect day. I still eat cookies, just not on a perfect day. I manage my days and I put strategies into my month. Okay. But if you eat the potato, your blood sugar is going to elevate. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin, and it is going to come out to deal with the blood sugar elevation, but it's going to go, woo, woo. They ate that with some steak. Woo, let me go catch that. That's what's going to happen. It's going to store the fat. And we don't want to store new fat. Because let me just tell you this, when you put together portion control, which is going to get you into a calorie deficit without having to count calories, your portion controlling under your 2 hands gets you into a calorie deficit without having to count calories. Amen. Because I don't want to do all of that. So you're getting into a calorie deficit and you're burning fat, but you're not storing new fat because you now know how to control insulin. There you go. You put those 2 things together, you're going to seem like you having supernatural weight loss. Let me just tell you, it's awesome. Okay, so let's look at this combination chart here. I like to explain this and talk about what you're reading. We are not doing math. This is not algebra. We've got this blue column. This is fast weight loss. Canned tomatoes are the same as tomatoes, but you can do them. This is a fast weight loss. The yellow column is faster weight loss. And the red column, you are blowtorching fat like you'd blowtorch butter. Okay, so let's have a look at what this reads like. So this is how this would be a meal, and it reads like this. Category 1, lean protein. The plus sign simply means eaten with. Category 6, superfood, eaten with a category 2 fibrous carb. That might look like chicken breast, black beans, green beans. Okay, let's come right over here. This is I'm doing the second line in the yellow column. Category 4, protein plus fat, eaten with a category 2 fibrous carb. This looks like steak and asparagus or steak and broccoli rather than the steak and potato. If you come over here into the red column, I'm going to do this one right here. This is a category 1 lean protein eaten with a category 2 fibrous carb cooked up in Mct oil. And we're going to go over that in just a second. So each one of these is just an option for a meal. Now this blue column, this is like you're taking the scenic route to the beach. The yellow column, you've gotten on the highway to go to the beach. In the red column, you've gotten on the interstate to go to the beach. If we are all going to the beach and we're all taking different routes, are we still all going to get to the beach? Yes, we're still all going to get to the beach. Maybe this person taking the scenic route enjoyed themselves just a smidge more, but they continued on their journey. But I have never taken a trip to the beach where I was just on the scenic route, where I was just on the highway, and where I was just on the interstate. It's a little bit of all of it. So if you are willing to stick in the red and yellow columns and then throw in a few blue ones every once in a while when you're wanting something else, then it's going to be fine. You'll be great weight loss. Okay. Let's move on. Let's recap the most important rules of food combining. So I didn't mention this yet, but a category 1 or a category 7, which is, they're both lean proteins, eaten with a category 2 fibrous carb and cooked up in MCT oil are the fastest fat burning combinations. And it's the MCT part that makes it the fastest. I mean, there's a lot of combinations that are fat burning, but it's the MCT that makes it the fastest in this one. We're going to talk about MCT next. If you want to eat a category 3 energy carb or category 5 fruit, you must eat it with a category 1 or category 7, which is your lean proteins, and a category 2 fibrous carb. We just don't eat category 4s with energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods. And then all meat at a restaurant should be considered a category 4. Okay, this is because if you consider meat at a restaurant a category 4, you will know I don't order energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods with it. That's going to lead you to ordering a fibrous carb or something like that. Now, why is all meat at a restaurant called a category 4? Because if you take a piece of chicken breast at home, you would cook it in the right Shibboleth approved oil. Well, at a restaurant, they're not using MCT oil. They're probably using olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, and that's not approved on a Shibboleth perfect day, but we let it be approved at restaurants because we've got to make this lifestyle practical, sustainable, and fun. Well, because they've taken a piece of lean protein and cooked fat into it, you got to call it a protein plus fat. Hope that makes sense. Okay, now let's talk about this MCT oil. MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride. And what we were using before Shibboleth was probably olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. Those are long chain triglycerides. Long chain triglycerides. Let's see, Beth, is it okay to add fat-free cheese to an egg white spinach omelet? Yes, you can do that. Up to 50 calories of condiments. Wasn't sure if you could add 2 things from one category. Yes, now in that particular case, Beth, your cheese is going to be considered your condiment because your egg whites are really your lean protein and your spinach is your category 2. So in this particular case, that would be, you could use up to 50 calories of it. And we'll talk about calories a little bit more tomorrow, but yes, you can do that. Great question. And you can have things you can have multiple things from a category. So let's say, for example, you wanted to have a turkey wrap, a deli wrap. Good, awesome. Maybe you get turkey meat and then you use an Omelet Extreme Wellness High Fiber Tortilla, which is a category 2 fibrous carb tortilla. And then let's just say inside of it, you wanted to put some spinach or some romaine or something like that. That's 2 category 2s. And let's just say that you want to have bell peppers or cucumbers as a little side item. That's 3 category 2s. That's fine. Yep. So you can do that. All right, this is 100% MCT oil, and a medium chain triglyceride has almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. That is awesome news. I'm going to repeat that. Medium chain triglycerides have almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat, where the long chain triglycerides have a great propensity to be stored on your body as fat. I haven't bought anything but MCT oil or ghee butter since I started the Shibboleth lifestyle. Rhonda, we sell a lot of variety on our store if you want to get them from us, Rhonda, the Mighty Muffins. But as for breakfast items, oh my goodness, I got all kinds of stuff. You could do, I'm going to just throw out one that you can buy in a regular grocery store, those little Jimmy Dean egg witches. It's an egg witch with turkey sausage and cheese. That's delicious. But I just do lots of simple things. I do lots of omelets, Rhonda. Okay, coconut oil is also an approved cooking oil on Shibboleth, or an oil to use, but it's not 100% MCTs. It's 66% MCTs. So when you're looking for medium chain triglyceride, you want to look at the back of that bottle and you want to make sure that it's 100% medium chain triglycerides, not just coconut oil. Because in marketing and packaging on the front of bottles, a lot of times they'll put MCT oil. Then you flip it over and you look at the ingredients list and it says coconut oil. Really, they're just putting MCT on the front because it's 66%, they feel like they can and market it that way. But if it just says coconut oil as the ingredient, that is not 100% MCT. We do sell one that we like the best. It's called Zero Drag, and you can buy that on the website. You're welcome. Now, ghee butter is about 25% MCTs. Ghee, spelled Ghee and pronounced ghee, is butter. It's just been clarified, meaning all of the milk solids have been pulled out of it, and it's just the natural fats left. I see ghee butter being used a lot in recipes, or if you are a person that really likes a lot of shellfish, you might do more ghee butter and dip some lobster tail or crab legs in that, or make some shrimp scampi or cook some scallops in it or something like that. And then you can also use 0-calorie cooking spray. So the MCT oil, you wouldn't want to use more than 1 tablespoon per serving. Let's say that you're just cooking yourself a piece of chicken in a pan. You could do 1 tablespoon. But if you're cooking 4 pieces of chicken for the family, you could do 4 tablespoons, all right, of MCT oil. You would need that to cook it. That's funny. And then it's got about 130 calories in it per tablespoon. So you want to just make sure that you max out at about that. But people ask me all the time, why would I choose to use MCT oil that's got calories in it versus a 0-calorie cooking spray? Well, that's because MCT oil has a muscle preserving effect and a metabolism building effect. The metabolism building effect is what makes it be the fastest fat burning combination. And what's important about knowing those two things is we're all about preserving our muscles on Shibboleth, because when you're losing weight, you are not in the muscle building phase. And you want to do everything you can to protect your muscles. We do on Shibboleth because we're eating all of the right macronutrients and everything like that. But 0-calorie cooking spray doesn't really have those two benefits. Now, this is how I make my decision. I just kind of flat out do. If I do this, then I do this. If I do this, then I do this. So if I am cooking a lean protein, whether it is from category 1 or category 7, I use MCT oil. Now that is if I'm not putting it with a category 3 energy carb. I keep all fats away from those energy carbs and fruit. If I knew that I was putting that with it, I would just use 0-calorie cooking spray. But if I am cooking a protein plus fat, I use 0-calorie cooking spray. Why? Protein plus fat already has fat in it. I don't need to add fat to it. So that's how I make that decision. The medium chain triglyceride does have a low smoke point. So it is best if you cook on low to medium heat, and otherwise it'll set off your smoke detector. I've seen some people doing some cooking videos and they're like puffing everything up in their kitchen. So I was like to this one guy who I know, I'm like, you didn't watch my video on Sunday night, because I told that you must not have watched my video. But this MCT oil is great. It's flavorless, doesn't really have any flavor. You can add seasonings to it. In fact, I added seasonings to it when I cooked my very first Shibboleth approved meal. And I took a rubber spatula and I pushed all of the oil out of the pan into a little ramekin. And as I cut my chicken breast up and was eating that, I would just lightly dip it into that medium chain triglyceride as an au jus sauce. And it was so tasty and so good. Now, you are hearing me say lots of great things about MCT oil, but here's what I don't want you to hear me saying. I do not want you to hear me saying that you need to get it in, okay? It is not a supplement. You do not just take it by itself randomly. We do not add it to bulletproof coffee. We don't add it to coffee. We don't add it to shakes. We don't take it as a supplement. It is literally used for cooking. And I like to explain it 3 ways: cooking in a pot, a pan, or however you cook, as a swap in a recipe, or making approved salad dressings. That's the 3 ways that you use medium chain triglyceride, but you never need to get it in, like take it as a supplement. Okay. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but honestly, if you just make that swap, this is all. Shibboleth is so simple. Just make the swap, knowing that there's 20 years of Travis and many, many, many other people, those witnesses that have gone before you, that have shown that this works if you do it. All right, we are wrapping up. I want you to remain in EFB as often as possible. EFB is efficient fat burning. Okay, so we're striving for perfect days. Pork chops are a category 4 protein plus fat. So you would not have them with energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods, but you could have them with a fibrous carb. So we're striving for perfect days, but planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. We are living life. And you know what? Their food, what's so great about Shibboleth is you're going to learn to use food for celebratory reasons when it's time for celebration, and not to use it when it's not a time for celebration, like cookies, ice cream, stuff like that. There's no reason just to randomly eat that. Save that for a celebration, okay? Let that be something special. And that's not every single day. We eat like that every day. We get in a spot where we don't want to be, and we got to turn around and go the other way. So strive for perfect days, but planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. And then you are going to have 2 perfect days, and then you're going to string together as many efficient fat burning days together as you can. And then planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. Then you get back to business. You string together as many efficient fat burning days together, and then planned or unplanned. Doesn't that just sound like a nice little rhythm of grace? Okay. And in that, you are going to see a trending downward of weight rather than a trending upward of weight. All right. And then when we are in EFB, this is huge. I love knowing this. When we are in EFB, our body is going to burn fat, which is just stored energy. Did y'all know that? Fat's just stored energy. It's just waiting to be used. A calorie is a unit of energy that got eaten on a day, and it just didn't get burned on that day, and it got stored. So now we need to access that. It's sitting there. It's just waiting to be used. How do you access that? Well, you get it into a calorie deficit where your body needs some energy. No, you're not just giving it all fresh new energy all the time in the way of eating. It's got to access that stored energy, which is fat. But if we're giving our body easily accessible sources of energy, such as unapproved oils or unapproved starchy and sugary carbs, then it's going to go to that first. A body, just like most people, will take the path of least resistance. If you're giving it unapproved oils, which are a longer fat lipid, like long chain triglycerides that are more dense and tougher to break down, it's going to always be gnawing on that, or going to sugary and starchy carb energy rather than going to the stored energy. But when you're in EFB, it goes to the stored energy. Okay, let's recap the fat bus. Fat bus is insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone. It's a fat storage hormone. Insulin also increases your appetite. Who needs that? After an insulin release, fat storage will occur for up to 48 hours, meaning you're out of EFB. And after the fat bus has been on its rounds, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. And your main question is probably, what am I going to eat this week? Well, let's go ahead and make a list of 7 favorite lean proteins, 7 favorite fibrous carbs, and you just eat 1 item from that list and 1 item from that list, and keep it super simple. If you have some MCT oil, cook it up in some MCT oil to make your fastest fat burning combination. Throw in a few meal replacements for simplicity, because if you were eating Pop-Tarts before, you need to know what kind of thing you can eat now that will seem similar to that. Or if you're busy in the mornings, you got to know what you could eat quick and easy, okay? And believe me, we have all of it on Shibboleth. We'll teach you how to do all of it. but keep it super simple in the beginning. And then as you continue to live and learn the lifestyle, you'll branch out. Okay. Now, thank y'all for joining me tonight. I do want to show one more thing before we hop off of here. I'm going to stop this share. I'm going to go over to Fast Track because this is where you need to be to learn the lifestyle. What I really want y'all to do is to work on lap 1 and lap 2. That looks like a long list, but it's not. I promise you it's not. I created this system here with Sasha, the CEO. So I used to be a school teacher and a principal, and I wanted this to be a very methodical, organized way for you to get all your new member printables, join the Facebook groups you needed to be a part of, set up your profile in the right way. And then I wanted to help shorten your learning curve on learning how to use all the resources on our website. So we created this system here, and it looks like a long list, but it's really not. Some of these take literally seconds to do, like registering for each night's webinar. You register for one, you're actually registered for all of them. Okay. Watching the Fast Track videos will take you about an hour. There's 14 videos, but it takes you less than an hour. They're all very short, topical videos. And then from this one, welcome packet and guidelines, all the way down to the sample grocery list are printables. They give you all those printables. Let's see. Beth Rogers went through all the 7 laps last night and this morning. Very nice to have everything linked. Also a school teacher. Oh my goodness. My other friend named Beth Rogers was also a school teacher. This is so funny. And I used to be the principal at First Baptist Christian School, and she was one of my teachers. That's so funny. And then right here, this is the new member food library. So just a few seconds ago, when I said, find a list of 7 favorite lean proteins and 7 favorite fibrous carbs, you could simply click right there, and then you could go there and pull up your lists. You've got to start making your favorites list, and that's a great place to go. And then there's a meal plan worksheet to help you say, what was I eating before Shibboleth, and how do I now eat that same type food? Because really it can be just a few simple swaps. And then this is joining the Facebook groups if you are a Facebook user. If you're not a Facebook user, just check the box like you were. In lap 2, very important. Make sure that you do each one of these things. And do you see how that black box is popping up? Just like when a teacher gives homework, all the students want to know how to specifically do that homework. The black box is the instructions. Okay, so all the way down to define your why. These are things that you need to do to get your account set up properly. And then we've got watch the daily Fast Track webinars. I would love for you to be with me live every night, but if you are not able to do that, we record them and put them on the website for on demand at your convenience. So if you miss any this week, they'll be housed right there. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to use this website link to teach class. And then if you haven't, by the time you get right here, I want you to take the Fast Track quiz and earn your first badge, which will look like this one right here. It'll be this one. And this gives you full access to the food library, the recipe library, and the restaurant guide. If you have not taken the quiz and don't have this badge yet, you will not have full access to all those libraries, and you're going to want them. Okay. I do not go over with you guys in a webinar like tonight, lap 1 and lap 2. Because that's a lot of stuff that you really just need to do on your own. You can print on your own, you can read on your own, you can do these things on your own. So what I do kind of lap 1 night was really tonight, the lifestyle overview. Lap 2 night is tomorrow, 1 full hour on food combining. But lap 3 through lap 7, I actually do with you every single night. By the end of the week, you want to have all these little boxes checked off so that you can get your Fast Track Complete badge, okay? And this badge it's ready. They're just having to redevelop something I asked them to do. And if it doesn't pop up right away, just know that they're still working on that. So I hope that helps you see how you can methodically and organize in an organized way, learn how to do all of that. Shibboleth is great, y'all. If you have been listening in tonight and you do not have a membership yet, membership is only $99 for a year. And you can go get that at shibbolethdeals.com, and it's going to be the best $99 you have ever spent on yourself. And I want you to think right now, I've thrown away $99 many times on things less important than learning how to take care of my body. You'll love all the membership perks that you get, and you'll learn how to take care of yourself. In the end, you're going to say it's worth a lot more than that. I promise you. We've never had anybody say it wasn't worth more than what they paid. So let's see, Julie. Yes, awesome. Julie says, if you don't have a membership yet, do it. You'll be so glad that you did. I know that I was, and I know that everybody here is. So thank you all. Tomorrow morning, I do, well, every Monday through Friday morning around 7:30, 7:40-ish in the mornings, I do a morning motivation and daily devotion video called The Shibby Show, and it's on the public Facebook page. So if you are up, please join me. If not, it goes into the journal videos on the website. All right, y'all have a great night. Thanks for becoming a Shibboleth member. You're welcome, Beth. You're welcome. Angelia, yes, I love that. Thank you for saying that, Angelia. She says, you're right. It is worth much more than $99. It is. Once everybody figures this out, you're like, oh my goodness. If I do all this every single day, I get great results. Okay, Jack. Jack says, can you explain the difference between cooked carrots and raw? Yes. So cooked carrots are, when you cook them, it brings out a higher sugar content. And so, so they have to be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Raw carrots, we actually only use those, Jack, as a freebie. If you wanted to eat those, like those baby raw carrots or raw carrots as a freebie, no more than what'll fit in your palm, you can actually eat that as a freebie. You might could put a few on a fibrous carb and lean protein salad if you wanted to, but it really is the sugar content, because the act of cooking the carrots changes them to sweeter than raw. You're welcome. Good night, everybody.